What's good? It's Mother Knows right here on 100.3 WRB. And listen, when we talk about that uptown sound, that era that gave us flavor, style, and real R&B and hip hop energy, you gotta mention this next guest. He helped define a whole movement, and the vibes still hit to this day. I'm talking about none other than the legendary Father MC is in the building.
Peace, what's up?
What's good, Father MC?
Man, I'm cooling, man. I'm chilling. I'm great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thank you for pulling up. First off, it's an honor. When you hear your name mentioned with that uptown era, what goes through your mind, Father MC?
Um, I'm just blessed to just had the opportunity to just rock with Uptown. You know what I'm saying? And just be that guy to really let Uptown give me my sound to give y'all the world, to give the world. You know what I mean?
You helped pioneer that smooth blend of hip hop and R&B. Did you know you were creating a whole new lane at that time?
I knew a little bit because I was trying to give them what I wanted to give to music. I didn't know I was creating some crazy trend like thing that would be here 30 years later. No, I didn't, but I knew that I was doing something different though.
Songs like What You Do For Me, What You Do For Me, I'll Do For You. And then you had All You Want From Me is a one night stand. Nah, baby. And then Treat Them Like They Wanna Be. They still hit. I'm not going to even talk about 69 because we're going to keep it PG, Father MC. What inspired that sound?
Well, I was a hardcore artist at first. I was a hardcore artist and I had a whole new album. I had an album called It's My Turn and I'm Back. And Andre pulled the plug. He was like, "Nah, that's not it, man." And he said, I'm gonna make you a star, but I need the real records. So then I came with Treat 'Em Like You Want to Be Treated with me and Jodeci. I went back to the roots. I was like, okay, this guy want to do something different. That's when I started making those type of records. And people don't know I'll Do For You was my second single, but I'll Do For You was really slated with Dave Hollister. Dave Hollister
Wow.
was on I'll Do For You, and it was a total different record. You get what I'm saying? And then Dre was getting prepared for because Treat 'Em blew up so much, Dre needed, like, the album wasn't ready, so he needed another song prepared. So we went and started doing remixes. And I'll Do For You with Mary was the remix. Dave Hollister joint was coming first, but Dre sitting in his office and was like, I'm making an executive decision. We put in the one with you and Mary out first. So that just blew up crazy. And the world never heard the version with me and Dave Hollister because there was no need, because the one with me and Mary took off.
You were around during the early Uptown days. What do you remember about seeing Mary J. Blige before the world even knew her? Because I remember seeing her in the video as a background singer with the ponytail and the bang, and
Right.
nobody even knew that was Mary J. Blige back then.
Well, Uptown had its tier. They had Woody Rock first and that crew. Then it had the second tier of Uptown was um uh Heavy D, Guy, I'll Be Sure, Groovy Chill, Finesse and Quist, Heavy D.
Mhm.
That was already slated. So then I signed. I'm the third tier to Uptown, Father MC. And I had to carry that weight. I had to put everything on my back. I put Jodeci on my back. I had to carry it because the world didn't know of Jodeci then. I put Mary on my back. I put Dave Hollister on my back. Father MC came with me, um, Christopher Williams, Jodeci, Mary J. You know, it was just us. It was us to lead that tier, and I was the first one on it. Then came Jodeci, then came Mary, then came Christopher Williams. So I had to carry that weight. I put all of them on my back, and God blessed it that it worked. But I took the chance on everybody.
Did you see that superstar energy in Mary J. Blige from the beginning?
Absolutely. Dre wasn't even into Mary like that in the beginning. I remember him specifically telling me, "You got the budget, put her on a record." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'll do for you." And then I came with One Night Stand. And that I remember we were in LA to shoot Affection again. One Night Stand wasn't gonna be my first record. One Night Stand, I mean, Affection was gonna be the record. He flew everybody from Big Les to the video director. He got video people. Everything was from New York, and we're in LA. And he was like, "Nah, man." He was on the 33rd floor at MCA, the Universal Building. I walk in the office. Everyone's from New York's flown out to LA. We ready to do the damn thing. And he's like, "Yo, I'm shutting everything down. Tell everybody they're flying back. I'm flying everybody back to New York. We're gonna reconvene and shoot One Night Stand." I was like, "All right, cool. Get it. I'm with it." So I took that LA trip to shoot Affection. I took that as a vacation. 2 weeks later, we're shooting One Night Stand, and then the record just blew up again, thanks to Andre. But it was crazy. It was his executive decision making that made it make sense.
Rest in peace to one of the greats, Andre Harrell.
Greatest I knew who done it, and I haven't seen anyone else. You know, Puff came because of Dre. So you know, great timing. He was at the right place, right places to be, and it was geared to him. You get what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
I seen Dre get it out the mud, out of clear nothing. Nothing. Let's go. He still made his mistakes with all the rest of the acts, on Uptown, like with the Albie Shores. He was kicking in the doors. So everything it was mistakes being made. So now they
Uptown, uptown. Hey, uptown's kicking it.
So with Father, it's like, all right, we got all the tools now. Father was signed directly to Uptown. Heavy D was directly with Uptown. Christopher Williams, Jodeci, Mary, we were all directly Uptown. Guy was MCA Uptown. Albie Shaw was Warner Brothers Uptown. Like all the other groups, Groovy Chill A&M Uptown. Finesse and Quist was Uptown. But we were Uptown MCA. So we were signed to Uptown, grandfathered in with MCA. So if anything happened to Uptown, we were automatically MCA. So Dre, everything Dre got his tools together and was like, okay, now let's go. So I was the guinea pig. I was like, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But that's the stuff that the world don't know. You get what I mean? So it's crazy. So
What
it's a
made Uptown different?
torch.
What made Uptown different from every other label at the time? It was my favorite record label. I wanted to work for Uptown MCA. I thought that was going to be the dream after I graduated from high school.
To just be on Dre construed a team. He put a team together. He got his best friend for 30 years, Jimmy Love Jenkins. Jimmy was in charge of radio. Jimmy was a shark. Jimmy was a staple to Uptown because without Jimmy, all the tools that Dre used, it worked. He put the people in order to make his thing come to life. And he knew when he got his deal, it was all about Andre. But the people he put in place made it work for Andre. Like he used Jimmy Jenkins' know-how, his street credibility, his savviness of his work ethic for radio. Let's go and get these records. If you don't get this record, you're getting fired. You work at radio, so you know what I'm talking about. When it's time to
Absolutely.
go get an ad for radio, when it's time to break a record, he knew what to do. And that made him a beast. And George Harrell on radio in New York, just the reps all around the country, Tonya, Jeff. I mean, everybody. It was a joint thing where he knew who to hire and he knew who to get rid of. Dre was not a game. And Jimmy definitely wasn't a game. Jimmy Jenkins. It's crazy.
Now let's talk about that transition, moving into the MCA situation. What was that shift like for you?
Well, it was good for me because MCA was like at radio day. Uptown would go bring you guys records, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the parent company would come with their list of records, and it was Uptown's records, but on MCA because we was a subsidiary to MCA. So on radio day, we would have, instead of you guys getting one bag of records, you guys would get two bag of records, but the Uptown records included in the MCA package. So you
Wow.
guys are listening to two people trying to solicit these records, Father MC records, the Mary records, the Jodeci, Christopher Williams, you know what I'm saying? The Jeff Reds, you know. So it was a great thing transitioning. And when MCA took the ball, it's like you're with your grandparents. So they're gonna override the parents and they're gonna make things work for you even more. So it was great. It was great.
Did you feel like you had more creative freedom at that point?
I had creative freedom, I think all the way through my career, to be honest with you. Because my first A&R was Sean Diddy Combs, Puff. You know, and me and Puff, it was Kurt Woodley, but then Kurt Woodley got a job at Columbia at Sony. So when he left, it was me and Dre and Puff. And Dre was like, yo, Father, we gotta delay your album a little bit because we gotta work with we gotta get a new A&R. I remember saying to Dre, straight up, no disrespect to Kurt, but I was like, Kurt's always sleep in the studio. I said, let's use Puff. It's me and Puff. We the ones that's up. We the ones who's doing it. And Dre was like, you serious? I was like, yeah. He says, you willing to take that chance? I was like, let's go. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I was a young artist, thirsty and ready to come out. And I didn't want to wait another 6 months. So I was
You
like,
wasn't
I
trying
was
to
ready
hear
to
that.
go. I was ready to get into the music conventions, get into the radio. The buzz was out. Let's go. And he was like, you serious? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So when I put that pressure on Dre to let's use Puff, let's go, I knew I had a great record. I had Treat Them Like You Want to Be Treated. That was powerful enough for me. And I was like, let's go. And he pushed the button and me and Puff got in. We finished the album and that was history.
What's one song from your catalog that still hits different when you perform it today?
All of them, to be honest. Because I had a plethora of records. I didn't have like one or two records. Like I could name them. Like even when I do concerts still, I'm still touring. When I do shows, it's like people be like, oh my God, I forgot. Like I start with Treat Them Like You Want to Be Treated. Then came I'll Do For You.
Okay.
Then came Lisa Baby.
Oh,
You know,
wow. I forgot it. Lisa, baby. Yeah, yeah.
see what I'm saying? And when I do that, and then I go to my second album with One Night Stand, Affection,
Mhm.
Everything's Gonna Be All Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to go with. You know, Red Lace Lingerie. I go to my third album with Once She Gets Pumping, It's Hard to Make the Hottie Stop. I Beat You. 69.
Oh, yo, I beeped you. Why you ain't called me back?
Right.
Man, we going down memory lane.
And then I go to the soundtracks that I had, like Who's the Man? You know, Go Natalie. Then Pimp or Die on the other soundtrack, Strictly Business. So it's like I have so many records during the years, and that's why I toured. When I toured, my records were exactly, if you do the now, it's 2 years apart on each album because every album we put out, it's time to tour. So I would do a year in the States, then a year overseas. So then it's time to get back to go start the next album. And that's why I'm still touring. So when I tour, I see people looking like, oh wow, oh I forgot he did that. I forgot he made 69. I forgot, you know, it was crazy.
Is there a record you feel like deserved more love than it got?
Uh uh yeah, yeah, yeah. 69.
That was a banger.
69. It was crazy, but the world was changing. And, you know, the lady in Atlanta, I never forget, she went to radio coming from church. She was on 103, I believe, in Atlanta. Z 100, it was something, and the radio station in Atlanta, one of the biggest P1 stations, and that's the Bible Belt. And this lady from church heard the record, but I didn't understand it because I was like, "What are you talking about?" That's when we had Knocking the Boots. That's when we had SWV downtown. I'm just saying, I'm horny. I admit it. I get psycho when I'm licking. I'm poking the panani. In other words, I'm sticking. They
Hey,
had records like I Want to Go Downtown. Somebody's Knocking the
we
Boots.
had Akinelli, put it in your mouth.
Akinelli, Put It in Your Mouth. Like, I mean, that's my guy. All of these groups are my people. I'm on tour with SWV. Crazy. I'm on tour with Akinelli doing Put It in Your Mouth. I'm on tour with these people. Intro. Come inside.
Yeah.
Come inside, and you're gonna give me a problem with I want to hit you with a 69. And it's just because it was the Bible Belt, and the lady went there and started protesting MCA. And when MCA gets protested, and she's talking about, I'm gonna MCA didn't want that pressure. So they just said pull the record. You get what I'm saying? But the record on the street level did its thing. So the world got to hear it, but still radio, that was supposed to be you had Rump Shaker. All I want to do is put my zoom, zoom, zoom in your boom, boom, and produced by the same producer, Teddy Riley. I didn't get it. So I think if anything, thank you to the lady in Atlanta for blowing the record up subconsciously in a different way. It was crazy.
When fans come up to you today, what do they usually say your music means to them?
Man, so many people. I was I was on tour, me, Jodeci, and in Vogue.
Oh, that's a
And we
nice
were in
tour.
Sacramento, and sold out arena. It was like 42,000 people sold out. It was crazy. I'm in the audience. I'm performing, and I do my thing in the audience, whatever. The girl came to me. She got past my security and everything, and she's like, "Fam, can I take a picture? I'm performing a record." She's showing me a picture that she took of me 30 years ago.
Wow.
And she took the picture. She said, "Could you take a picture?" I'm performing still, and she's taking a picture and showing me, and it was crazy. It was crazy. I stopped the whole show. I was like, wait a minute, child. Wait a minute. What? And everybody looking like, what's going on? But she's showing me a picture in her iPhone of 30 years ago, a picture that she took with me performing One Night Stand. And I'm performing One Night Stand as I'm actually stopping my show. And it was crazy to me. And a lot of people tell me they had kids because of Treat Them Like You Want to Be Treated. A lot of people, the stories they tell me is so intriguing. It's like, wow, I'm bugged out. Like I never knew. And I never knew that Farm MC had lifers, like life fans that followed me continuously. When I do my tours, when I'm on the road, I just did Rock the Bells. I just did Preak Fist in Baltimore with D Nice. I find myself doing a lot of Coliseum dates, like
Okay.
big shows more than the smaller clubs. I find that like I'm always on the road doing that a lot. And I'm saying I want to come to Philly. Promoters, get it together. I want
Yeah,
to
we got to
go.
get 5 AMC to 215, the Philly. Come on, promoters.
I loved when I came to Philly. I killed Philly. I loved it, the Philly love. I love Philly. I was always in Philly when I was not on tour. So I hung out. I had a lot of chicks in Philly. I was doing my thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
How do you personally look at your place in hip hop and R&B history?
I know I created a lane. I know that for a fact. I did it. Because back then it was hard. It was hard for me. And I was a street rapper. That's the crazy part. Uptown changed me. And so when I put Jodeci out, I was a target. When I put Mary out, singing on a record, the hip hop artist was like, "You ain't a real rapper," and all of this. But then after I had success with it, the next year, I seen a lot of these street called rappers doing the exact same thing that I was doing, having singing hooks. So me being the type of dude I was, just because Uptown changed my music, I still was the same person. So I went to the street dudes and I said, You ain't a real rapper. Like, you doing the same thing I'm doing. So I stepped to them, and they had to accept it, and they had to laugh it off because they knew the pressure I was bringing also. So it was a different thing. But every street rapper was doing exactly what I did. I just did it first. It wasn't cool. It wasn't cool for me to say back in the day, treat a woman how she wants to be treated. It was cool to call a woman a bitch. You get what I mean? It
I
was
get what you
cool
mean.
to call a woman out her name. But when I stepped up to the format, every time I was on tour, that tour would be filled up with women. And I remember I was on this one tour with me, EPMD, Chub Rock, um, Chub Rock, what's his name? My man from the West Coast, Too Short, all of them. I was the only R&B dude on the tour. And I asked EPMD, I said, yo, Eric, why y'all put me on this tour? And they said, dude, because if we didn't, it would be a sausage factory in here. It would be nothing but men. And I was like, but they took so much good care of me. They made sure I got paid first. They made
Mm-hmm.
sure that father was straight. Because if I pulled out, it would have been crazy. You know, I remember performing in Queens, and I always said to my manager, like, Travaca Square is not gonna book Father MC. They're not. It's a thug joint. It's crazy. I remember when Snoop Dogg was there, and in Queens, in Jamaica, Queens, they had the helicopters there, and then they booked me because they had the helicopters on the like when Snoop came. It was crazy. I was like, they never gonna book Father. They booked me. Do you know it sold? It was it sold out like in 2 days. I'll never forget. I had to redefine my show. I'm from Far Rockaway, Queens, Brooklyn and Queens.
Oh, shouts
So
to Far. What
I
part of
had
Brooklyn
I
you from,
remember
Far MC? I'm from East Flatbush.
Vanderveer.
Oh, you from there? Get the hell
Veer. I'm
out of
from the
here.
Veer.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm from the Veer. And then I got kicked out the judge when I was younger. I did some crazy stuff. I tell you, I was a different type of cat. And I got kicked out of Brooklyn. So my mom's had to move to Queens. So she bought, they put us in Far Rockaway. My mom's
Okay.
up in Far Rockaway. But when when they booked me to Travaca Square, I remember that night. I'm from New York. I had New York not on lock, but I was known in New York. You know what I mean? I was moving around. I took we had 200 people on stage with me, just straight thugs on stage. I was home. So I was picking up the check. Plus, I was flying out the next morning. So that was a quick, let me grab the bag real quick. Let me go rock Queens. And it was me, Ja Rule the Damager. And
Wow.
I remember we destroyed that show. And I just saw how many brothers really rocked with Father MC. Because, Father MC was a woman's thing. It was a ladies' man. I ain't mad at that. But from all the drug dealers to the thugs, I'm from Queens. I'm from Brooklyn. Everybody came out and they repped Father. I loved it. Like, especially when I did Madison Square Garden. I had New York. You know what I'm saying? That's my home. So it was crazy. And they came to the party and supported. It was beautiful.
Bob MC, over the years, there's been chatter about you and actress Theresa Randle possibly dating married. Where did those rumors even come from? And is there any truth to it? Because when I first heard it back in the day, I said, oh, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I didn't know Theresa Randle was married to Bob MC. I was like, wow.
I'm glad you brought that up because Teresa just went through something with I guess her alleged husband. And everybody was like, "Your father, I've never been married to Theresa Randle a day in my life." Me
Do
and
you know where the
Teresa,
rumor came from?
yeah, me and Teresa dated for like 3 years, and she asked me what did I want for my birthday. And this when I lived in L.A., and I was like, I just want a wedding, a band, a wedding ring. She got me a band with all these diamonds for my present. We went to an event. It was a red carpet event, and there was a security guard. It was a guy and a girl. The girl loved Father. The guy loved infatuated with Teresa
Mm-hmm.
because of the movie Girl Six. So they said they're married, And then the paparazzi was there. I remember hearing the girl say it like, "Oh my God, that's my favorite. Y'all are such a great couple. They're married." And next thing you know, I kid you not, that's when the internet was like coming to life. It was new. And then that rumor spread. But I've never married Theresa Randle. Me and Theresa dated for 3 years. It was a great time. We had good fun. No kids came out of it. No, I don't wish nothing bad for her. Nothing like that. She was great. She was a great partner, but marriage, nah. Whatever her mishaps or whatever happened to her along the way, if she ever wanted to call me, if I'm in a situation to help her, I would. But as far as with me and Theresa, great girl, have nothing negative to say about her. And when people say it, like, you know, people say it, I used to get beef from my girl I'm with now,
I'm
and my
sure.
and my girl knew, it is what it is. If you know me, then you know I've never been married to her. If you know me, you know I dated her, and me and Theresa was cool. But as far as the world want me to throw dirt on her, that's not my style. And nah, I don't have nothing negative to say about her. So whatever the world want to say, she beat up her boyfriend and he in the hospital. Her husband, hey yo, I feel bad for the guy,
Well,
but
listen,
whatever.
I don't know Theresa Randle personally, big fan, but Theresa
Great
always
girl.
had that look, I will whoop your, she just give off
Yeah,
that hood steez.
Teresa ain't. She wasn't no punk though. She
Right.
wasn't no punk. But
I could
Teresa ain't
tell.
never throw no hands on me. I have never gotten beat up. I ain't never been none of that. So that ain't the people. That's why I laugh at it because the people who know me know the time. They know what time it is. And everybody else for their entertainment, if they want to assume it, it's a great vision. Like I said, I have nothing negative to say about her. If you want to think that your people were married, then hey, so have it. But nah, clear the waves up. Me and Theresa Randall never been married. You could look up all the work, dig up, put some paperwork on it, whatever. Never been married to Theresa Randall.
Who is Father MC today compared to back then?
Well, it's a thing. I'm a president of F Media, subsidiary to Sony distribution.
Nice.
I have artists that are about to drop. You know, I got a bidding war that the world don't know yet, but I have a bidding war. That's why I'm always in New York. I have a bidding war for Father MC's last album. So that's coming. So we're in the midst of that. I have like 6, 7 labels that's bidding right now, thanks to Livio Harris and Darius. You know, my team, they work, they steadily on the move. I don't have to call them every day. They on it. Like good example with you guys. They just told me, they asked me that I want to do it. I said, let's rock. I love Philly. Let's get down with it. And you see, I haven't even spoken to you guys and I'm on the phone with you. You know what I mean? Like I just came back from Milwaukee. I did the Adidas convention. My home girl, she's a biggest promoter in Milwaukee. Her name is Lena, and her team, RJ and them, they took great care of us. It was me, Little Flip, and Mr. Cheeks from
Hmm.
Los. We just did that, and from there went to Detroit. And then it was me and Jodeci again in Chicago. I mean Detroit, the Aretha Franklin Center. We did that, and I'm busy. I just did the Bronx with me, Christopher Williams, Melissa Morgan. I just did that like last month. Now I'm going back to New York to do this big campaign, a photo shoot that's going to be sniped all over the world, like in the major cities, you know. And it's crazy, and I'm keeping the game moving, man. I'm staying busy. I'm staying active.
And finally, what do you want to say to your fans who've been rocking with you since day one?
Man, listen, God is good. God is good. And I thank y'all so much because without y'all, I wouldn't have been father. And I continue to thank y'all for the support. And my Instagram is Father MC for real. It's the number 4. So Father MC for real. Y'all could get at me and it'll link y'all to all of my things I got going on. Everything is in there. Father MC for real. Y'all check me
Listen,
out. Y'all come with the journey. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Sirius XM too. They keep me busy. I'm doing the podcast. It's coming. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, man. I'm a businessman.
I love that for you, Father MC. Listen,
Thank you.
that's how you do it right here. Big shout out to the legendary Father MC for pulling up and giving us the real Uptown history, life lessons, and everything in between. Father MC, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm a day one
Man.
fan. Continue success, my Brooklyn Queens brother.
Yeah, definitely. In Philly,
And
y'all,
when you
y'all
come to Philly, pull up.
I want to come to Philly so bad because I want to come and get on that stage and do what I do. You get what I'm saying? So Philly, all the promoters out there, get in touch with my peoples, man. Father MC for real. That's my IG. That's my hit. Y'all get at me. God bless and take God with y'all.
Thank you, Father MC. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Y'all need me. Y'all know how to get at me.
Holla.
Peace.